Shut up and sit down.
Hey, I'm Simon.
I'm Ellie.
And we are having a couple of drinks tonight that are called...
Nemesis.
Nemesis. Why are they called Nemesis?
Because you're going to worry about it, but just deal with it, it's fine.
Oh.
Because it's got Jägermeister in it.
Oh, Jägermeister. Nasty. Well, if you enjoy our silly videos, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell thing next to the subscribe button. And we just did a video on KGF Chapter 1. We already said thank you so much to everyone who supported our video reacting to the teaser for KGF Chapter 2. We had a landslide of views and subscribers and just really kind and informative comments from people. And in that video, everybody recommended we check out KGF Chapter 1, made a lot of sense, but there was also a landslide of people who recommended that we check out a two-part movie called Baahubali.
Okay.
So just to give you some context, and apologies if I butcher any of the pronunciation, that's entirely on me.
We are trying.
We are trying our best. But Baahubali, the beginning, the first part of this movie, was one of the most popular movies in Indian cinema of all time, released in 2015. So this was directed by a famous director called S.S Rajamouli, and his father had told him a long time ago about a story of a character called Shivagami who carried a baby across a river in the palm of her hand. And this got him fascinated by mythology, and he looked into a ton of Indian mythology. There are actually comics in India based on mythology that he was obsessed with, and he worked on the script for this story for more than 3 months before he got it down. So at the time this was made, it cost about 180 crore Indian rupees, which is about $25 million. And that may not sound like an enormous amount compared to Hollywood blockbusters today, but at the time that was the highest budget Indian cinema movie ever. But at the box office alone, this movie made 600 crore Indian rupees, which is the equivalent of about $84 million just from the box office. So this was not only the highest budget Indian movie ever made at the time, but the highest grossing Indian movie ever made at the time as well. So I completely understand why everybody recommended that we check out Baahubali, the first part, the beginning. And I say we'll give the trailer a shot. We will be back afterwards to let you know what we think about it.
Let's go.
Whoa.
ऊपर भूत प्रेत रहते हैं, बच्चों को चीर फाड़ के खा जाएंगे.
That's not good.
ये लोग जिनसे मैं अनजान हूं.
मैं इनका भगवान कैसे बन गया?
मैं हूं कौन?
हमारे भगवान अमरेंद्र बाहुबली का रक्त हो तुम.
जय महेशपते!
So now I understand the reference to the hand holding the baby above the river. That makes sense. Wow. I mean, completely different style of movie to KGF chapters 1 or 2, apparently. But, man, visually stunning, or what?
Yeah, I like how it's a lot more kind of melodramatic. There's a lot less gritty, but it doesn't kind of take away from the drama of it. That there is just... there's a lot more kind of conscious style to it. It kind of like hyper realizes it without taking away the realism. So like everything is like ultra clean and ultra heroic, and all the fabrics are flowing perfectly, and he's like charging through the battlefield and all this heroic stuff. But there's still so much emotion there. Like it doesn't take you out of it of being like unrealistic. It's just kind of like how it's more like it's the design is the emotion behind it rather than the realism, and I really like that.
Yeah,
that carries through in this like the style.
Yeah, it reminded me of a number of kind of Western movies set in Greek mythology in terms of the giant battles, the temples. It had, similar visual styles, even though obviously culturally completely different. And it reminded me a little bit of the 300 movies with kind of monochrome coloring, but then splashes of red in there as well, which I love that kind of a style. And also the really fast-paced battle that every now and again just slow-mos and you just see somebody flying backwards or some huge explosion. Oh my God, and the animals, the bull charging... we always say that we are absolutely loving learning about other cultures. By no means are we experts on other cultures, so I know that the bull has a ton of symbolism. I won't even conjecture as to what that is. Please enlighten us in the comments. But, oh my goodness, just the visuals. And I love kind of medieval style history. History bored me a little bit after the invention of guns. I felt that there was so much more bravery in armies that would just charge up to each other and hack at each other with swords and arrows. And it was a lot, I'm sure there's a ton of bravery involved in modern day warfare. Please don't get me wrong. But there was something different about the bravery of a person standing across from another person, picking up a sword and just going to hack at each other. I cannot even imagine how brave you would need to be to do that. And in terms of the scenery, like the bit where the guy's climbing underneath that cliff.
That panorama. And I know there had to have been CGI, but also, I feel like if someone said to me, look, that guy really had to climb that really scary overhang, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Because it looked so solid. And it was so iconic as well. Just like the style of how they created that space was just incredible. Yeah.
And like we've never been to India before, unfortunately, not through lack of wanting to. The closest we've ever been to India was Sri Lanka, and clearly Sri Lanka is a completely different country. Speak completely different language. They speak Sinhalese there largely. They're largely Buddhist people, apart from the Tamils in the northeast. So very, very different country. But we were lucky enough to go to in Sri Lanka the tea country up in the mountains. And it was the first time I'd ever been at an elevation where you can feel how thin the oxygen is. I remember going on a treadmill and struggling to breathe. And also just the beauty of the tea plants and most of the workers up there were from India originally as well. Very different culture in that part of Sri Lanka. But there were just parts of the scenery in this that really reminded me of that and made me think, oh my goodness, I would love to go to India one day and just... I'm sure it doesn't look like that now. I'm sure this is, made to look like...
And very idyllic, the way Western movies make the landscapes look idyllic. But at the same time, there are incredible rainforests across India. And temples
and so many different cultures and languages and religions and everything kind of merged into one place. And I just cannot wait for this pandemic to disappear so we can travel again and experience more. But I am so appreciative of the people who recommended that we check out Baahubali. We've obviously only seen...
amazing.
Yeah, and this is available now. It's a 5-6-year-old movie. We've obviously only seen part 1 at this point, the trailer for it. I'm kind of eager actually to watch the movie, not just the trailer for part 1, and then check out part 2. I kind of don't want any spoilers, so...
Definitely.
Yes, but thank you so much for the recommendations. Thanks for sticking with us and enjoying our channel. And we hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, we're back here every single day. We're going to try to cover as many Indian movies as we can. So please give us recommendations in the comments. It's always welcome. And anyway, we will see you next time, friends, on the next Drunk Trailer Ambush.
Peace out, nerds.
Namaste, friends.
Shut up and sit down.